All right, let's talk about it. The one thing that's probably on your mind, hovering over your career, your future, artificial intelligence. There is so much anxiety out there, right? It feels like this giant technological wave is about to crash down. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to dive into a completely new way to think about AI and your job. This is the question. It's the one everyone is whispering. You see some crazy new AI demo that writes code or designs a logo or drafts a legal contract, and that little voice in your head pops up, am I next? And look, it's a totally natural fear, but it's also a trap. Because framing it that way, asking, will it replace me? It automatically puts you in the victim seat. You're just sitting there, passive, waiting for something to happen to you. But listen, that is not how this has to play out. You actually have way more control than you think. See the difference? Can you feel it? This question, this one, puts you right in the driver's seat. It's not about fear, it's about strategy. It's about turning what feels like a massive threat into what could be the single greatest opportunity of your entire career. And we're about to show you exactly how to do it. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to face the reality of the job shakeup head on. Then, we'll get into the most critical career divide there is right now, becoming a director instead of a doer. After that, we'll unpack the 3 unbeatable human skills AI can't touch, give you a practical AI toolkit you can start using today, and we'll finish up by showing you how to build your ultimate defense, a powerful personal brand. Okay, so let's get real for a minute about what's coming. Because ignoring this, well, it's just not a strategy. The people who are just crossing their fingers and hoping AI is some passing fad, they're going to find out the hard way that ignoring it was never an option. And look, this whole disruption isn't going to happen all at once. It's going to feel more like a 3-phase rollout. Phase 1 is what's happening right now, individual tasks getting automated away. Phase 2 is when whole teams start getting smaller because a few people using AI can suddenly do the work of 10. But Phase 3 is the real earthquake. That's when entire departments just become obsolete. The source is pretty blunt about it. In the very near future, there is no world where the entire financial department of a business is still run by people. So if tasks and even whole departments are on the chopping block, what's left for us? Well, this brings us to the most important idea in this entire explainer. There's a new career divide, a line in the sand, and you're either on one side of it or the other. Now, the most powerful part of this quote isn't the first part, it's the end, and we're there today. This isn't some sci-fi prediction about 2040. This is happening right now. The choice to be a director or a doer is a choice you're already making, every single day, with every project you work on. So what's the actual difference? Well, think of the doer as the executor. They get a task, write this email, design this graphic, code this feature, and they just do it. The problem is AI is becoming the best, fastest, cheapest doer on the planet. The director, on the other hand, is the strategist. They're not focused on the task, they're focused on the vision, the strategy, the problem. They don't do the task, they direct the AI to do it for them. The bottom line is pretty simple. You want to be the one holding the leash, not the one wearing the collar. Okay, so if the goal is to become a director, what skills do you actually need? Like, what is our human edge that AI just can't copy? That brings us to your new, completely irreplaceable skill set. To really get our edge, we have to understand the different kinds of intelligence. First, there's analytical intelligence. Processing data, spotting patterns. Let's just be honest with ourselves. AI has already surpassed us here. Game over. But then you've got creative intelligence. Sure, AI can mash up things that already exist, but it can't come up with a vision for a future that should exist. And then there's its biggest, most glaring weakness, emotional intelligence. The human stuff. And those weaknesses, well, they point directly to our greatest strengths. These are the 3 pillars of being a director. First up is vision, that ability to see a problem and imagine a better future. Second is taste, that gut feeling, that intuition for quality that separates something that's just good from something that is truly great. And number 3, care, real, genuine empathy and the emotional intelligence to actually connect with other human beings. And I really want to double-click on this last one, because the source argues that it's the most important one of all. Vision and taste are critical, for sure, but care is the glue that holds it all together. It's truly understanding a customer's pain. It's leading a team with empathy. It's building trust. It's the people side of things. and it might just be the last human skill to ever be disrupted, if it even can be at all. Okay, so we've got the what, vision, taste, and care. But what about the how? How do you actually start acting like a director instead of a doer right now when you sit down at your computer? What's your defense? It's not the content itself, it's the brand. It's the trust you've built. It's the genuine human connection you've created by adding value to people's lives over and over again. That relationship is the one thing that can't be copied or automated. You absolutely cannot underinvest in this. So let's bring this all home. The fear around AI is totally understandable, but it's also a distraction. The only losing move in this game is to stand still. Your only defense is to lean in, to start using these tools every single day, and to consciously make that shift from being a doer to being a director. Because ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. For the first time in history, the barrier of how is basically disappearing. You now have a tool that can execute almost any task you can dream up. So the only thing that matters anymore is your vision, your taste, and how much you care. The only real question left to ask yourself is this: what problem, what future will you choose to create?